To yours truly, DJ June, the FTV Radio, DJ Chris Beast, and our special guest tonight is
Felix the Child Jr.
And
your girl, Coach Jazz.
First and foremost, thank you guys for chilling with us today at the FTV Radio.
No problem, my pleasure, my brother.
Thanks
How's
for
everything?
Good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah,
How's
blessed
things with
by
you?
the best.
Yes. So, Felix, tell me, man. I see you doing a lot of things, man. Stuff for the community, stuff for the people, for the entertainment world. How did it all started for you?
Oh man, we're gonna be here all night.
all right. Give me a snippet.
The edited version.
Well, first of all, photography has always just been something I've had a passion and a drive for. You know, my mom actually introduced me to photography when I was 17. And it just saved my life, you know what I mean? At the time, I didn't really have a sense of direction of where I wanted to really go in life, you know what I mean? And so my mom was like, why don't you go to a night school for photography? And she, paid for the class. I met Jerry West, who became my mentor. And then I kind of went to a few shoots and kind of saw like the kind of money he was making and just the kind of job he was doing at the time. And I was just like, man, I could see myself doing this, you know what I mean? So I was like, what do I have to do? He was like, well, first of all, you got to go to school and, learn more about photography. And so I went to SVA and then started doing parties. And then I got introduced to Tiffany Childs through Lenny the Barber, who's the co-owner of Don Diva magazine. And then that's how I first got my first big break. First artist I ever shot was Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, Versus the other day, which I didn't get a chance to see it yet. Now it was crazy this weekend, but I didn't get to see it. Did you?
I saw not all of it, but 80% of it.
Yeah, I saw like little bits and pieces here and there.
That's what it was doing. After it was done.
I'm like, damn, that was the culture one for that one. You know
That's crazy because we be doing a show where we battle each other with like he played one set of artists and I played one set of artists, and that was on our lineup.
That was on come up.
Ghostface and Raekwon versus Redman and Method Man.
Right. Cause right now they do the verses.
Yo, 420. What's that? That's gonna be crazy. Redman versus Meth.
Yeah, that's coming up too as well. You know what I'm saying? So
that's gonna be dope for the culture.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see that. I even texted him about that, told him too. Like I saw you the verse, but that's gonna be the second time for the fact that I saw them doing a quick little appearances for Mike D'Angelo or something like that. Yeah, right, he was on that, and he was bringing in famous people as well. So that one wasn't a battle, but it was in that show
on Versus Live.
On the Versus Live. And his show was bringing in artists that he had features with. So that'll be the second time in there now, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken. But tell me about your first experience with the first camera. Was it your mom that bought it for you, your dad, or you just saved up money for your first camera?
No, my first camera was definitely my mom. It was crazy because
Mom's right. My mom's bought me my first turntable too. My father will buy me shit.
I'll keep it 1,000 definitely because ironically, I think I told you that like 2 weeks ago. I bought my son a camera.
Okay.
And I was sitting there looking at it when he asked me about it, and it just brought back a flashback of when I was like 17 when I asked my mom for a camera. So to see him at 8. Asking for it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man.
And he asked for it, you didn't buy it for it?
No, he asked for it.
Before you bought it for him? Okay.
Yeah, he asked. He said, Dad, I want to learn. I just want to get a little, so I could do remember we talked about he wanted to do his YouTube channel, wants to do his DJ and all that stuff.
So that's where all that is starting to develop at now.
Yeah, so when I see it in him now, I'm like, wow, just to see him want to do it. So,
it's good.
So like I said, I was 17 when my mom put the camera in my hand. So then to see him want to do it now, man, I'm like excited to see. Hopefully by the time he becomes adult, he'll be even nicer than I ever been.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And what made you be a photographer, right? Mm-hmm. But for the music, now they get for weddings or not saying that you haven't done it, but like you know how they just stick to just one type of. What made you just start working with just artists and sports people and stuff like that?
Well, like I said, at that time I was shooting for publications. At that time, I think I was shooting for about 15 or 16 different publications. So every time they'll be like, oh, we're going to shoot this particular artist or this athlete. So it was just over the years we're working with different magazines that, you know, I met all these different, you know, celebrities, and then eventually they became personal clients because they, you know, we met out on set, and then they was like, oh, well, I like your chemistry, you know, I like how you work, you know what I mean, you're cool, you lay back, let's exchange numbers, and, you know, that's just how it been, you know what I mean? So, you know, my first the first artist that ever came to the, you know, the Passaic studio, probably was Lady Luck, if I remember correctly.
Shout out to Lady Luck.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you're talking about studio, okay, now we forward into, like, you know, how you start working with the camera, becoming a camera, working with the industry. Now when you talk about getting your own facilities, what you're saying?
No, I was first talking about the facility that everybody know in Passaic. You know, we were there for 15 years.
Okay.
That's what most of the stuff, you know, that you know, talking about with the artists and celebrities.
Okay.
Was shot at. You know,
so that was the spot that you just developed to put together and put a team together and start doing your own thing?
Well, it was a warehouse building.
Okay.
You know, I got it as a loft at first, you know, to live at. And then, you know, the way I designed it, people just wanted to shoot there.
Okay.
About 3 years later, eventually we got the studio, which was right next door, which was about 2005, give or take. And then from that point on, that's when, you know, we took over most of the third floor of the building. See all the graffiti. That's when,
all over the wall, like on the hallway on the way to the...
Exactly. And then, you know, Love and Hip Hop came, and, you know, VH1, MTV. MTV Video Honeys was the first ones to actually shoot there when I did Gloria Velez. That was my first video vixen client. And then we did, I was the first photographer featured on Love and Hip Hop with Samaya Reese. You know what I mean? And they came to that studio as well. And then, you know, we was there to June of 2015. And then we closed it down, and then we opened up Media City where we at today, you know, 2 years later.
So you've been here for 2 years already?
Well, 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years now.
So Jazz, where do you come in?
I mean, it's interesting because I know Felix was just talking about himself. He just kind of found his passion, and his passion just led him to all these amazing connections. And that's just how my story starts as well. It just started with me finding my passion, and from there, you know, just following that wave, it connected me with some amazing people, including Felix. And, you know, when we first met, this was when Media City was already up and running. I fell in love with the space here, the energy, the vibe. And I just saw that event space in the front, and I said I could see myself running my fitness classes out of here. So it just really took a conversation. We connected right away. Shout out to Des Oak, my cousin, because she was doing a mixtape release party here, and that's how come I was able to come and stumble upon this place. And I mean, you know, as cliche as it sounds, fitness saved my life too. I know we all have a testimony, but it has. It's real for me. You know, I was young when I started to have a lot of health complications, even physically, and I started to accept that as my life. But that's one thing that I'm here to say today: don't accept defeat, not in any aspect of the word. Because there's always a way, as long as you have that will, as long as you have, you know, that perseverance and that spirit that's willing to never give up, you'll be able to find a way. You educate yourself, you connect with people who know what they're doing to at least give you the guidance that you need, and it all comes together. It all comes together. But, I mean, I started off with having multiple injuries, reoccurring injuries with the same knee, and
yourself
with myself. My knee kept dislocating out of place. That's kind of how it started, and then it led to pre-hypertension, which is high blood pressure. It led to me, you know, getting rushed into the emergency room because my appendix was exploding. It was multiple of different, you know, just obstacles presenting themselves to me. And at the time, I mean, it's easy to get discouraged, but you know, it woke up something else through me. Instead of looking at it as, you know, something that was trying to keep me down, I saw it as an opportunity to just step up to that next level. So through fitness, through the people that I was able to meet, I was able to turn my whole life around, become stronger, and now I just feel unstoppable. So with that, you know, information, I just think it's too good to keep to myself. So now I turned it into, you know, a career, and I mean, I'm helping people, and it feels good.
And tell me about this event that you're throwing, because to me it's already the second one that I've been seeing you doing it, talking just like you said, doing stuff for the people. Tell me about this event coming up the 27th, this Saturday.
Yep, it's this Saturday. So that's something a little different from the whole fitness industry and what I'm trying to do with that. That's a whole separate movement.
Okay.
But I do have a lot of ideas, and so when I started coming out here to the Media City and getting the whole fitness up and going, I started to see all the potential that Media City has. So I started sharing my ideas with Felix, and he kind of gave me the authorization to just let my creativity juices flow. So with all that we have to offer, we have the event space where we could throw parties. We have the infinity room for photography, green room for videography. We have a state-of-the-art music recording studio, and of course FtvRadio on deck. So I'm trying to at least make an experience for the people. That way they can come through and see all the different services that we can provide.
Right, correct.
So with that being said, it's just an opportunity. It's a platform for people to come together, to connect, to create, and to support each other. Creatives of all kinds. So we have this event, March 27th. It's an art and music night. We're gonna have music artists performing. Just trying to, get some exposure, get some experience. The best artists will win a free photo shoot.
Nice.
We also have vendors coming through selling their products and services. Shout out to all of our visual artists. They're going to be selling their artwork and pieces. So it's just a nice little blend, of talented people and creatives just coming under one
what
roof.
time is this event start?
Starting at 7:30 till 11.
7 to 11.
Yes, tickets are on pre-sale, $10. But if not, if you want to buy at the door, $15.
So 10 in advance, 15 at the door.
You got it.
Nice.
So looking forward to meeting all the cool creatives, this Saturday, and all the talented artists that definitely coming through. Like Jazz says, it's like a creative playground.
Yes.
It's a one-stop shop. We have everything that you could want as a creative here, from green screen to photo studio, event space, podcast, radio station. So we have it all.
Recording studio for the artists that want to sing and rap and all that.
Yeah,
So.
and most importantly, we have like a very solid team. Everyone's in their lane. We're all just trying to see each other grind and shine, get to that next level.
Of course, yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing. We're all team players. We're not here, trying to do anything other than see each other get to that next point.
Definitely.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. So that this Saturday, everybody pull up.
Pull up, pull up.
Media City.
Art and music night.
Word.
But we have a few more other events coming also in the near future.
We also have an event April 3rd, June.
Yes, sir. Empire Lounge.
Empire Lounge. It's don't want to say showcase. It's more of a talent.
A movement that, again, this is when FtvRadio comes in.
So tell them about it. Tell them about your...
Talk that talk.
All a part of the same tree.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a big umbrella.
Yeah, so, thanks to Raul, thanks to Felix too, for giving me the opportunity, and one of the first guys to let me, how can I say it, they believed in my vision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be like, all right, Joe, you know what I'm saying? We're going to test it out, you feel me? And it's like having big brothers that you got to improve them, like, yo, I could do this too, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, let me get creative, bro. Like, this is like, only if you know, this is like a little kid in a Toys R Us store. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I tell that to everybody.
You know
in
what I
a heartbeat. Media City's that way.
Yeah, like, yo,
whatever passion you have is here.
It's here, you feel me? Like, it goes back to what you said, that vibe.
Yeah.
Tell me about your collection, Felix. I see you collecting all. You just a collector? You just a collector? Tell me about that wave. Because that's what sparks it up to the movement in here, too, in the facility.
Well, as far as, the memorabilia is...
I got some guesses.
Sure, no problem, man. Well, first of all, the memorabilia is... all the different athletes have been blessed
So
to work with.
you sell all of these?
Yes.
These are all your work?
Yes. Every picture you see in the building, except for the young Shaq photo, is all my photos. Yeah. The young Shaq picture he gave me at a photo shoot.
Shaq himself?
Yes. But everything else is all from photo shoots that I personally did. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So, and then the toys is just, that just goes back to, stuff I wanted as a kid. Some stuff I had from when I was younger, and then a lot of the stuff is just over the years, different friends and family gifts, and from clients. I've been blessed. I can't lie in that aspect. So that's what it's about. I love. And then, like I said, when we cater to the creatives, but the main thing of the facility, it was creative for the young, the youth.
The youth.
You know what I mean? The teenagers, because I have a program where I help kids from the troubled streets about, learning anything in the fine arts.
Really?
So I wanted to make sure when they come in here, like I had their full attention. You know what I mean? From everything visual to...
So it sparked
exactly. It sparked their attention. You know what I'm saying? So that way too, they tell the parent, oh, Mom, Dad, what I gotta do to come here? What I gotta do here? Next thing you know, they're participating in classes. Next year, they're staying out of trouble. They're doing more things at home, off the streets, most importantly, like you just said. You know what I'm saying? And, and teaching them something that could possibly give them a career and teaching them how to be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Because not everybody could afford to go to college.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or have the skill set to go to college. You know what I mean? So you got to teach them to utilize what are the gifts they may have already.
So let me ask you, what do you see yourself in the future? You want to be a teacher, an instructor, or?
I just say I'm a director, you know what I mean? I own a facility, you know what I mean? And the goal is to have 5 of these, hopefully within 7 years.
Nice.
I would just say it's like a modern day Boys and Girls Club, just on through art, just on a whole different level, you know what I mean? And being able to utilize the relationships that I have through entertainment and sports, and bring them here to talk to the youth and say, oh, you want to do a podcast? Here, you got 5 minutes with so-and-so. Or you want to do a photo shoot? You got 5 minutes or 10 minutes with so-and-so. You know what I mean? Then just help build their confidence, their portfolio. And next thing you know, they
get that experience.
The experience most importantly. Yeah.
It's like you can't buy. You can teach them and show them, but until they actually do it and get the hands-on experience, you know what I'm saying? That to me is one of the best teachers of anything.
Yeah.
The number one question I always get is like, how do you get everyone to feel comfortable? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, you'll be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make them relax. You know, if they don't feel attractive, you make them feel attractive. You know what I mean? If they are not in the best of moods, you make them in the mood.
Make
you know
them happy,
what I mean?
yeah. Having a bad day.
Yeah, bring it out of them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's your job. You know what I'm saying? Is to bring the best out of the client. So, that's what you're there for.
And that's probably how you feel doing your dance instruction.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, people feel they be scared and intimidated. You got to make them feel like, just relax, man. Just chill.
That's honestly the most important thing. In order to effectively meet someone halfway and then just kind of guide them, help them get to that next level or that next stepping stone that they're trying to get to. Because if you can't connect with that person, then...
Yeah, it's going to be a bad experience.
Yeah.
And that's singles for music. When somebody's like, I'm not feeling it, probably give a little wine, just relax, just chill, it's a conversation with them. Yeah, it's a tone for them. And then, it's little bit shorter to get comfortable, they come out their shell, then they'll give you their best performance at that moment, you know what I mean? Because they bring their most creative, you know what I mean? They bring their self. So, it all goes hand in hand.
It sure does.
Definitely, man. And, Jazz is amazing at that. You know what I mean? She's my personal coach as well. You know what I mean? She's been for almost 2 years. And
nice.
Yeah, man, she's definitely helped me tremendously. When I first started, there was a lot of things I couldn't do. And she's helped me lose a lot of weight and just get in the best shape that I've been in a long time.
Yeah. That's dope. That's
you
dope.
Know what I mean? So,
Thank
you, Coach.
No, the appreciation is mutual.